All right, Mom. So that's the title of today's class, Talking to Santa. And so first off, let me introduce Kristen here, who, well, why don't you introduce yourself? How do we know each other, by the way? You're good.
Hello? Okay. Hi, my name's Kristen Newvine. I'm a second-year PhD student in the Sociology department, but many years ago, what was that, 2017, 2018?
A long time ago.
I was in this class, and then I became the attendance TA for 4 semesters until I graduated. I went to get my master's, and now I'm back to do my doc. So, known Sam a long time.
A long time. But Kristen, can we go to the next slide? Kristen, here you are. Who are okay, you're.
That's Belle, Sam.
This is Belle.
From Beauty and
All
the
right.
Beast. The big yellow dress, the only one that wears that color.
We actually took another photo. That
Samuel, don't go there.
She wouldn't let me show it. It involved. Yeah, that's all right. Just you can imagine.
It was a character integrity violation. That's what it was.
Yeah, you would be kicked out of the character. Okay, so the next slide. And who are you?
This is Anna from her the second story with her and her sister, where she becomes Queen of Arendelle. Obviously, that is me with the Nittany Lion this summer.
Oh man, that's awesome. And so we last year at this time, I went to a party, and at the party was Santa Claus, and Santa Claus came up to me and whispered something in my ear about Social 19, that apparently at the North Pole they also watch Social 19. And my wife and I were really intrigued by watching Santa because Santa was engaging. The children were so excited, and so were many of the adults, by the way, as you might imagine. And so at some point in time, Lori said, man, you got to get Santa to come into class, and because it'd be really cool. And then I thought about my own life. Can you go to the next slide? Here, this is, I'm the one on the left. That's me, the younger one, and with Santa. And on the far right is Lori, who looks like Santa has really bad breath or something, and she's just ready to fall over. But realize that everybody has photos. This is just part of the culture, and it's part of culture not only here, but in many, many parts of the world. And so, because Kristen is in character so often, I say, you know what? This really fits in a class, sociology class on race, culture, and gender, or in race, culture, and ethnicity, because we're so often moving in and out of character. So the idea was, hey, you know what? Let's invite Santa in, and I'll invite Kristen in, and we'll have a conversation about how this is and what this is and how it is in the culture. So anyway, yeah, with that in mind, so we have invited Santa to class, man. Yeah, right here, man. Dude. You can be anywhere, Santa, anywhere in this space, and Kristen was gonna. We kind of. Well, you didn't have any. You couldn't be in character, but it's better you're not in character. So better if you're up here, I think. So anyway, we're gonna keep you in character. You're here, Santa. Thanks for coming. Do you have your
bag? You make sure you watch all these children. You know, you're responsible today.
Yeah. So listen. First question. We're going to come back and forth. So who was, first off for you, I'm going to ask this question. What's your job as Santa? Like, what's your overall job? What are you here to do?
Well, That's a tough one. Some people would say just to hand out toys, other things. No, my job is to keep alive the spirit of Christmas, is basically what my job is. When you lose the spirit of Christmas, it's gone. And so at some point, I'm going to be gone, because there will be nobody believing again. You know, you're going to grow up, you're going to say, well, there's no Santa. If you have a younger sibling or relative that still believes, at some point, it's going to be your responsibility to take up the mantle and keep the dream of Christmas alive, the spirit of Christmas. Okay?
And if you could, what's the importance of the spirit of Christmas? Like, what do you see?
On the children's faces, or on the parents' faces, or on young people's faces?
How about just society as a whole? Yeah.
It's that hope is probably the best way to describe it. That hope of something out there. That, you know, the hope of being here, the hope of belief is probably what I see in most people when they see me, when they talk to me, when they mob me on campus to get pictures, or downtown, or wherever I'm at. So.
And okay, so now let me ask you a question as Dave, who was Santa when you were young?
That's tough, because we didn't really go to the mall Santa. There was Santas in town here. There was years ago at the Allen Street gates, there was a Santa house set up, and there was always somebody there to listen to the children. There was one in the mall. But Santa to me and my brothers were our parents, just as yours are probably. So,
meaning that Santa, did you experience Santa as magical?
Yeah. There's when we were children, our grandparents owned a dairy farm over in Clearfield. And when Christmas was on weekends, when it came on a weekend, we would go there for Christmas. Well, my grandfather would go cut the tree during the week, bring it to the barn, let it dry out and stuff, and Christmas Eve day he would bring it up to the house, cut the bottom off it, put the stand on it, and then we'd have dinner and we'd go to church, and then we'd come back from church. Well, the tree he'd bring the tree in and set it in the living room, and then we would put the lights on it. Well, then it was bedtime, because we were told by my aunts, my grandmother, my mother, that Santa decorated the tree. And that was a German tradition, because my grandparents were both German in descent. So that was a tradition with them. So Santa became that magical creature, that a person that came, decorated the tree, brought the presents, did that kind of stuff. So that's where magic comes in. So
this, the magic is key. Kristen, how about you? Like you do. Can you go back a slide? Actually, you do character. Can you tell us something about how often you're in character and what you do?
Yeah, so like I said, this picture was taken over the summer, but I had owned a company doing this for about 8 years, from about 2016 to the mid-2023. Since then, I have been in this, my doctorate here, and it was too much to run a company and manage employees and do the taxes and all that. I would love to perform as much as I used to, but it's just like the upkeep of making the magic happen was too much. There was one point in the middle there where I was doing multiple parties, multiple days a week, especially over the summers. You can do stuff during the week instead of just on the weekends. But yeah, a solid 8 years with, during the pandemic, we obviously couldn't go out. So I spent the first couple weeks of that doing Facebook Lives. as characters so that the kids that were kind of, I had met before as a character, the families that were really interactive with my company could have something happy in the middle of all that. And it was really fun. I was in my basement, just being Anna.
So let me ask you this. I want to ask the same question I asked Santa.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go back and forth with Santa and Dave. The magic. Like, you're in it. Are you in it for the magic also?
Yeah. I don't think that a lot of people get into this line of work if they're not in it for the magic and predominantly for the kids. But there are plenty of adults who suspend their disbelief and really forget that you're a character, especially if you're at like a themed event where it's very clearly supposed to be something magical. If you run into someone at like a county fairground because you've been invited there to perform, that might be different than meeting them in their house where they've decorated it to look like Ariel's grotto or something like that. But they take a lot out of it too. I've had a lot of parents and also just other adults at birthday parties, or we've had a lot at charity events come up and be like, Elsa really helped me learn to cope with the things that have happened to me in the past. So there's some space for the magic between the actual character from the story and the person enacting it while they're performing.
So what? Okay, I want to go back. Well, Santa, well, hang on. I actually want to have this particular question before we go anywhere, because I think it's the most intriguing question to me. First off, I feel like as a sociologist watching the world, I feel like we've really lost the magic. And man, when you lose the magic, you lose something that's so important and so valuable. And when kids don't have it when they're young, then they've got nothing. There's like not even a store of it inside of them, right? And for me, it's almost tragic, How is it? And I want to come back to the magic in a second, but I want to ask about going in and out of character, like how. I want to start with you, and then I'm going to go to Santa. Like, how do you get in character, and how do you come out, and like, what's the process of that?
Yeah, so I will say that when I first started performing, it was a lot more difficult to get into character. It felt really important for me to see myself in the dress. So, towards the end of getting ready, we don't go out of our, green room without being fully dressed.
Yeah.
Unless you run into a child in the parking lot of wherever you're going and they see you without your, wig on or something crazy. In the beginning, I really needed to see myself in the costume so I could imagine myself as that person, but as time went on, it was much, much easier, especially for the characters like Anna and Rapunzel, who I really identify with and have a similar kind of personality to. It's been really fascinating in my research because my first ever presentation about the sociology of making magic was at a conference, and I was dressed as Anna, like in the full garb, and I came in from outside to the presentation. No one knew I was coming, kind of similar to this, and was in character for the first minute and a half. Her voice is so much higher than mine, and her mannerisms are so different that as soon as I stopped, it was so obvious. But I was fighting the entire time trying to present and talk about research and sociology and not act like Anna, because when I'm in that, I'm supposed to be Anna.
And people, especially kids, you're in that with them.
Oh, they really believe. I cannot express to you enough. I have met thousands of children. They really believe. And even the kids that are skeptical, if you have a performer who's used to working with kids or shy kids, nervous ones, they come around pretty quickly. They really do genuinely believe Elsa is a real person, that Belle is, et cetera.
Okay, so when I met, what was so striking when Lori and I met you was the number of kids who, and even some older kids, these weren't just like little kids, even older kids who were like, they're in it, man. Like so how about for you, this time of year comes along, do you start to feel the character coming on? Like, how do you do it?
Well, because I have a beard year round.
Wait, hang on. I got to say one thing real fast before you go. So Santa was going to be in character the entire time. And we were talking and realizing Santa needs to be Santa because Santa is Santa. Like, you don't come in and out like that. You just can't do that. Especially in, like, for me to talk to you as though you're not Santa. For you, it's like your brain's got to be split completely. So I just want to say that, how fascinating it must be for you to be here when you're in character, but yet I'm asking you to step out of it.
You also, you can't answer certain questions in character. I don't know how serious it is for you, but, you can't talk about certain things as a princess because they don't know what that is. So, like, I could never be in character talking about sociology because I don't think they have that in Belle's library.
Yeah.
So that is the other hard part of, like, you're wearing the thing, you feel like you're that person, and then you have to talk about something they would know nothing about when you've trained your brain to know nothing about that thing for the time you're in character.
And you are that person. So anyway, go ahead, Santa.
Well,
Dave.
like I was saying, I haven't been without a beard for decades, so this is part of me. And when people see me, they make a comment. When I'm just dressed normally, some people will make a comment, or if I'm at a job that I work and there's children around, one of them might say, well, that's Santa. No. Does Santa do this job? No, Santa doesn't do this job, so I'm not Santa. But we're saying about selling, well, I don't know if selling it's the right word, but keeping the magic there. It's all about, it's her dress, her hair, the way she acts. But for me, I carry a lot of things with me. I have a passport. Has my picture in it. It's stamped from different countries.
Wait, hang on. Whoa, hold on. Can we? There it is. Wait, can you get it? Yeah. There's Santa on there, man. Oh, fuck. Wait, it says North Pole citizen. Oh, my God. That is cool.
Where would you think it was from?
Yeah, exactly.
I have a driver's license. Okay. I have a flying license. My endorsements are the sleigh, a plane, an air balloon, and a helicopter. Not only do I need a flying license, but all the reindeer need theirs too. So I carry all their flying licenses.
So that's the magic, man.
That's the magic. Plus,
yeah.
they all have to have health certificates. So they all have I carry a health certificate for them. Okay? It's the magic. You've got to be the magic to impart the magic. So I've spent decades working with this. It's a tough thing. And to prepare for how many scouts are in the audience?
Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts?
Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts?
Anything?
Don't be afraid. If you're a scout,
two.
get your hand up. Okay. So going to summer camp, you always did skits and stuff. That's a preparation for doing this. You got to go in character to be in a skit. You got to come out whenever you come off from out in the front of the campfires. All right? It's that mentality. You got to have that mentality to do that kind of stuff. So.
And how do you come out of it? Like, After Christmas, what happens for you?
Christmas isn't the end. December 25th isn't the end of Christmas.
Uh-huh.
There are 2 Christmases. Any of my Orthodox friends here, or any Orthodox Catholics here?
Yeah.
I come see you in January, right? This year it's January the 7th. So I still got to be around till the 7th of January.
So when it starts coming around to the seat, so I'm thinking about being in character, right? I mean, think about really being in character, man. I mean, you are being Santa. Like, you are Santa. You got to be Santa. You have to be Belle. You have to be, is it Anna? Yeah. You have to be Anna, Rapunzel. Like, you have to be that. I'm thinking about, for me, I don't have this similar, I have a kind of a similar experience. Like, when I'm in here, I'm a certain character in here, but I'm actually kind of shy. You see me outside a lot. I'm kind of shy, but for some reason in here, I just go to a new place. I do things in here that I don't, or when I'm on stage somewhere. In Korea, I have a certain character in Korea. When I get on the airplane to go to Korea, it starts because people on the airplane, people who are traveling there, people who are flight attendants, pilot, whoever it is, many people recognize me, and I'm immediately in character. I get off the airplane. I spend 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in this character as Sam Richards, the person who studies and talks about Korea, right?
Can I pop some sociology in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, hang on one second. Hang on.
Pausing.
And then the entire time I'm there, I'm in a different character. Like, I am, at every moment, I'm aware of that people see me differently, people react to me differently, people know me, even if they don't know me, at any moment they might know me. And then I get back, I go to the airport, and I get back on the airplane, and I start seeing people, and it happens all the way to the United States, and I get down to the baggage claim, and I get my bags, and I'm still in character. And then once I leave the airport, I'm out of character. And it's done, unless I happen to see someone in the airport who recognizes me. But it's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks where I'm really in a character, and I play the character, and I'm in it, and so I have a taste of what it is to be doing what you're doing. And by the way, we're all doing that all the time. Like, we're all doing these different characters. That's why I think this is such a really cool conversation that we can have. But go ahead, pop some sociology in.
Yeah, so tying into we're all doing different characters all the time. Some of you might know about Irving Goffman.
Nobody knows about Irving Goffman.
Okay, I know a lot about Irving Goffman. Okay, so he has a book called The Presentation of Self in Everyday Life. It came out in the late 50s and then was published in the early 60s. It talks about sociological dramaturgy, which is basically the idea that we are performing for other people and also ourselves. And one of the core concepts that ties into what we're talking about today is called impression management. Impression management is the idea that you view yourself as someone specific. You have ideas, identities, feelings, beliefs, values, etc. And you have a way that you view yourself. We, as humans, really want other people to perceive us in the same way that we view ourselves. That feels really good to us. I don't have to get into the depths of the identity theory, but when Sam goes to Korea, he is aware that people are perceiving him in a particular way, and so he wants to meet the expectations of that performance. Yep. Part of the reason that it kind of turns on and off with the space is Goffman talks a lot about on-stage and off-stage behavior, and he uses the analogy of like actual theatrical performing where you're on a stage. But in real life, it's not so clear-cut. You know, here it's easy, it's clear-cut, you are a teacher, you're in that identity, you're in that character right now, and then when you go in the back room, there's like a clear divider for when that is over. Character performers, historical interpreters, Santas, they don't always have that. There's this really intense blurring of the lines between on and off stage, where they start to kind of lose track of who they are versus who the character is.
Okay, Santa Dave, how about that? Starting to lose track of who you are versus who the character. Does that like resonate at all, or?
No, that doesn't happen with me. It may happen with others, but it doesn't happen with me. I mean, it's like I said with scouting and doing skits and stuff. And well, I'll give you an example. Years ago, I took a class that was developed by a guy at the YMCA that helped you talk to people and stuff in business. Well, one of the activities was that you pulled something out of a hat and you had to act that out. Well, I pulled gorilla out of the hat. Well, my mind started going to all the Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdoms I saw, different shows I saw about gorillas and stuff. I got up in front of the group and went right into character. And ended up getting up on a chair, climbing up on a chair, picking on a girl's hair, like I was picking bugs out of her hair and eating it like a gorilla would do. That's what a gorilla does. And I came back to the center where I was, and I beat on my chest like a gorilla and roared and stuff. And then I stood back up and I was back to me. It's that you've got to know when to turn it on, turn it off, I guess is what I'm saying. Is that it's you know, will people blur the line? Yeah, those are the people that may need help. I hate
don't
to
think
say
they need
that.
help. They just do it full time.
Yeah,
It's
well,
more, that's not a negative
I mean,
thing that
they've
start to
gotten
use.
way too far into it to, you know, maybe. But yeah, those are the kind of things, you know, you've got to, it's not that hard for me to pull back.
Did you,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
did you say you keep your beard 365 days?
Yep, it's here all the time.
Why do you need Santa's beard if he hasn't become part of who you are?
I enjoy the beard. I like my beard.
Yeah, you have a nice beard, by the way.
It does get trimmed back after the holidays, but I trim it back. It's something that's always been with me. I didn't grow it to be Santa. I grew it because I like the beard.
Wait, how many kids pull your beard?
Lots. Especially babies, because babies latch on to things. That's just their nature. And they'll grab my beard, and they pull pretty hard for little squirts.
Yeah.
You know, I'll have to grab a hold of above their hand so they don't pull too hard and pull hair out. But
They'll pull
yeah.
Rapunzel's wig off if they could.
Yeah.
You have to secure it to the bodice, otherwise they
Oh,
will
really?
literally pull the braid of the wig off.
Hey, so I want to ask the two of you a question here. How do you know when you, I want to go back to the magic, okay? Because for me, this feels like it's so essential. How do you know you've tapped into the magic in kids? Like, how do you know? Like, what do you see? What do you feel? What do you observe? What do you?
Can I pop in, or do you want to let him go first?
Let Dave go first, and then you go. Yeah.
For me, it's that, and I sent you the picture of the one little girl that just comes up and just snuggles up, or that child that squeals so loud because they see me for the first time. You all do it, because when I was walking in this afternoon, I got mobbed by probably 15 or 20 of your fellow classmates here on campus to get pictures, and they were extremely happy about it. It's that the smile, the running to you, the grabbing a hold of you, the wanting to be there. It's kind of like, you hear celebrities, movie stars, TV stars, that kind of get freaked out after years of being in movies and TV, and they surround themselves with security because they're afraid of people hurting them. I'm not afraid of getting hurt. I mean, it's not in my wheelhouse to get, I don't think they're going to hurt me. I hope not.
But the idea, but hang on, and I want to. But the idea is, you see, something has happened with young kids when they were young, that they believed something that is magical. You lose sight of that because you find out Santa is whatever, some guy named Dave, right? And then, but you never really lose it because somewhere it's still tucked inside of us, right? That's the key. And so then in a sense, like what you're doing is you're making that happen for all these kids who, as you say, will grow into adults and lose it, but they don't really lose it.
I hope they don't lose it.
And so so how cool is that? Must be so. That must be awesome, man. To just have. I watched you. I just watched one kid after another come and just sit on your lap and talk to you, and tell you all their secrets and all the things they want to have. But secrets, that's a key, right? I watch kids whispering in your ears, right?
Yeah, secrets are a big part of it. I mean, it's their hopes, their dreams of getting that special toy, and it's like, yeah, it's become tough with technology over the years because you get kids that want phones, they want a computer, they want an iPad, they want the Switch, a Nintendo, this, that, and the other thing. Well, you got to draw the line somewhere and not dash their hopes, but and then I came up with this because it was like, I kept hearing the same thing when you're computers, gaming systems. And I said, you know what? That's an expensive gift to buy a child. So I started telling them, well, we've got to talk to mom and dad first because that's an expensive toy. And, you've got to be responsible with it because if you go on a computer, you might go somewhere where you're not supposed to be. If you get or you might drop an iPad and break it, or the handheld gaming system, you might break it. Those are kind of expensive things. And I know parents these days, a lot of them, they want to give their kid everything. They can. But when you're talking hundreds of dollars for gaming systems,
So your job
for a 5-year-old, they're just going to throw it across the room when they get mad.
Dude, so actually what's interesting here is by putting some kind of wall up to, look, Christmas isn't just you get the gift, you get these things, right? To keep the magic alive, you have to keep the conversation alive.
He's also socializing the kids.
Socializing
in a way that he finds to be positive. So you're teaching them about, being appreciative of the things you have and being realistic about things to ask for, and, the spirit of Christmas being more than just about gifts. Feels like an important part based on what I was just hearing.
So how about you, this question about how do you know when you've tapped into the magic with kids?
Yeah, I think there's two really distinct kinds. One is very similar to what you were describing and kind of what happened. I especially was able to see the front row here when they were like, oh my gosh, Santa's here. Actually, when this picture was taken, this was taken at 7 a.m., which is crazy to be in full glam at that time of the day. There was a gymnastics meet here for little kids on campus, and I didn't know about it. I should have checked. And 2 little girls came to the Nittany Lion in their little leotards and their bows to get pictures. And as soon as they saw us, Rapunzel was also with me, it was like the light in their eyes, the biggest smiles. One of them, and I mean, these kids are 6 and 8, I think. These weren't little kids. Mom is like, oh, it's Anna. She was overtaken with joy. And you would not expect Anna and Rapunzel to be at the Nittany Lion shrine.
Yeah. I don't think that's where they hang out.
Yeah, we didn't expect Santa to be here. So there's this shock and it sounds very silly, but a glimmer in their eye that you can see that they're just they're having a wonderful, magical moment. My tagline for my company was making magical memories because kids remember these interactions for years. The other part is kids that, like I said before, there are very shy and nervous kids, but also kids who are medically compromised in some way. Their excitement and the magic for them might be different. I had met a little girl years ago as Belle that I was kind of interacting with her, and she was very, very sick, and she wasn't able to interact with me like a child would. But she smiled at me, and her mom started bawling because she hadn't smiled in weeks. That was what the mom told me. So there is a moment of magic where it's not this big display of belief and joy and excitement, but to have just a moment of peace during something like that. I think that's magic too.
And you visit hospitals?
Yeah, so it became very difficult after the pandemic to do so. A lot of that kind of stuff moved to Zoom calls. I did a ton of those during the pandemic with medically compromised adults and children. But before that, we were able to go to the Children's Miracle Network, Janet Wise Children's Hospital, some of the more local hospitals in UPMC system to see kids that are sick. Or might be injured and they might go back out soon, you know. A lot of times around the holidays, actually, it tended to be around Christmas time, but it could sometimes happen other times of year.
Yeah.
Just to give them a little bit of light in that type of situation.
You know, what's interesting is you're saying, like 6-year-old, 8-year-olds, that the magic is still there, man. That gives me hope, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Do you go to hospitals?
No, I've tried to, and I don't know who to get to. I mean, I would love to. I do. Our niece is a caretaker for a lady for her son. She works at Hershey. It was on the plans to go to Hershey this year to visit the children and the newborns. I have a similar story to her shrine story. A number of years ago, my wife and I were in the area, and I was in between visits, and I don't call them jobs. If you call them jobs, it's a visit, because you're visiting. So I said, let's go to the shrine and get some pictures. It was a nice day. We didn't know it was graduation weekend. So we go there, and it's surrounded by your classmates that are graduating and with their parents and stuff. And so the parents, wanted their kids to have pictures with Santa at the shrine. So we were there a good 20 or 30 minutes getting pictures with your fellow students that were graduating. And like hospitals, here's a kind of a fun, it's a sad story. One of the first years I had become Santa, I was here locally. My wife got a phone call from a friend of hers. Her daughter had gone through cancer 5 times. And she had currently been in the cancer facility down at, I can't remember the name of the hospital. But anyways, so my wife went shopping and dropped me off at the visit and came back and told me that she had called and that she wasn't doing well and she was expecting her to pass away before the holidays. Well, she was down at Danville. I just remembered that. It's terrible getting old. It's terrible when you're 1,755 years old, So I said to my wife, let's go. And I had other visits planned for that day, and I said, I'll call them and tell them what's going on. We'll redo things. I'm not worried about it. Let's go to Danville. I was dressed. I was prepared to walk into Danville Hospital to see her, to visit the other children that were sick in there on a whim. Why? Because that's what you do.
Yeah.
Don't. If they would have got upset, I would have got upset back with them, because it would have been like, are you really that much of a Grinch? I would have told them.
Yeah.
But you don't want me here to visit, to bring joy to these children that are sick. So.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I think I feel that. I think that's. It's very cool. We have a question? Yeah. All right, Mom. We have a question from the stream. If you could not depict the American Santa, which Santa would you pick?
Well, that's kind of tough.
The Italian Santa.
Well, the Italian Santa is a good-looking Santa, but if you don't know this, a lot of the male quote-unquote Santas around the world are very similar to an American-style Santa. The British one, the one that's in Japan, the one that's in Korea, and they're influenced from the service people from around the world that were serving after World War II in Japan and Korea during the Korean conflict. They formed that thought of image of Santa in those countries, if you didn't know. And they're the most recent countries to start celebrating Christmas with Santa, and that is Korea and the Japans. So, I don't know. Australia's kind of cool too. He's in shorts right now, so because it's summer down there. So, it's hard to pick which one to be.
Take the Jamaican one, man.
I don't do dreadlocks though.
The
beard
right.
would have to be in dreadlocks, huh?
There are other goodies that come along with the Jamaican one, so you're all good on that. Wait, go ahead. You have another one? We have a couple more here, and then hang on. Let's see. Are there any negative psychological effects to allowing children to believe in characters, later telling them they're not real? Yeah, this is a thing that adults, that some people have. Okay, Kristen, our resident sociologist here.
Psychological effects, I do mostly social psychology, so please take that with a grain of salt. A lot of the critiques, at least of the princesses, is not so much about leading the children to believe they're real and then telling them they're not. It's more about the way in which they get told that those people are not real, but also more so what happens to the children when they're actually believing in the characters and looking at them. I'm sure you've all seen the literature online about how the princesses' body sizes cause negative gender stereotypes for little girls. I would also let you know there's a ton of literature about racial representation in princess performers, like what happens to children when they go to Disney World and they look at Tiana and she is not as melanated as she is in the movie, and so they don't see themselves racially in Tiana, who is the only black princess at the time that the movie came out. So I would say most of the literature I've seen on negative impacts really is when they truly believe in those characters, but they either see themselves negatively through the character or they don't see themselves at all.
Yeah. I think the data that we have about kids learning that that this is not real, let's say, is much less problematic than other aspects to it. Yeah, that's a really good question. Do you have a response to that, by the way? Have you ever?
Well, my response would be that Nicholas is a true person. He was a real person. He was born in 270 AD in a country called Mysia, which is now a part of modern-day Turkey. So Nicholas grew up in the church, became a pastor or priest, became a bishop of the church, went to prison. He was put in prison by the Roman Empire for his belief in Christianity. And I read a thing about it when he was in prison, that it was said that there were enough priests, bishops in the prison that he was in, that they could have held a conclave and elected a pope. So that tells you something, that, Nicholas is a real person. He was a real person.
You know what it tells me? Usually these kinds of stories, they're rooted in something that's big and real and significant. So yeah, bro.
Yeah, so I had a question. Sometimes, like when you're one-on-one, it's usually easier to deal with a kid asking you, like, how do you fly everywhere? And you show him your passport and things like that. But also for you, and when there's big performances with many children, I feel like I remember when I was a kid, every once in a while, there's like one kid that's not only not believing in it, but being very like heckling and like also telling all the other kids, like, that's not Santa Claus. I saw the other one in the mall that looked different the other day, or things like that. So how do you deal without making them like the enemy or like being angry at them, but also taking care of all the other kids and ensuring that they don't?
Yeah, so for princess performers and historical interpreters, it actually seems easier the more kids there are to let them believe, because when it's one kid, especially if they really know that character well, they are going to grill you and they're waiting for you to like make a mistake because they want to believe in you, but like there's a hesitancy there, especially the older they get. When I was doing a lot of training for my employees, I was always like, we don't put the new people with 1 or 2 kid parties. We put them with the 14, 15, kid parties, because there's just more action. Where sitting down and really talking with a kid for a long time, there's more chance you slip up and say something that's not in character because there's so much to know. The second part of that, I would say, is at princess parties. Regardless of whether it's a birthday party, a charity event, a fair, something like that, most companies have attendants, which are like street-clothed people who help the princess, one, be safe from like people in the crowd, organize like the line to wait for them to get pictures, but also, thank you. I talk really loud, so I got worried. They will also kind of manage those kids, especially if there's kids that are being maybe too rough during the games of these types of events. They'll take them aside, and if a lot of times it will be an older boy who will, tell his little sister, the other little girls at the party, like, oh, well, Rapunzel's not real. And then we just have the attendant take them aside and say, hey, we know that you have really strong feelings about Rapunzel, but this is about, your little sister, or insert this little girl's birthday or this little boy's birthday. So if you could just keep that to yourself. And if they won't, we do tend to get the parents involved, just because it is very important to protect the magic for the rest of the kids while still letting that kid participate.
Keep the magic alive for everybody, man. Damn.
Well, I visit numerous elementary schools through the season, and I do end up with that all the time, and as they get older, they make those comments. That's why I carry everything that I carry with me. I carry my passport, I carry my driver's license, my flying license.
Does that confuse them?
No, it makes them think, wait a minute, that maybe is the real thing.
Yeah.
And when and when you know your facts, like Nicholas passed away on December 6th. Okay, that's his saint's day in the Catholic calendar. Okay, so that's when Santa Claus was to be born. Right. That's why when I say I'm 1,755 years old, that's when Nicholas passed away.
Oh,
so this year,
that's cool.
So December 6th is always a big day for me with that. If I, and when I tell the kids that I make it into a problem. I make a math problem out of it. I tell them, what's this year? What's the year of this year? And they say, okay, 2025. Okay, so I was born in 270 AD. Do the math, because it's a learning experience for them. Some of them get it right off the bat, some of them don't. But it's everything that you can present to them.
Yeah.
That's going to, I hate to say this because it makes us turn out to be liars, but to reinforce that hope, that dream, that magic that we're talking about is what it's about.
Okay, so that is probably the answer to that question right up there.
Yeah, it does not pay a lot, and it was a lot of work to run the company and to manage the employees.
Just to get in costume is a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, the Belle dress that you guys saw earlier is $2,500. So I'm glad that you got to stand next to it. Mm-hmm. When I'm in Anna's dress at the shrine, that is almost $3,000 worth of costumes and wigs. So it's a very expensive thing, at least for the princesses. And I don't know, like you guys, my hair is dyed like Anna, okay? I'm researching princess performers and historical interpreters. I'd like someday to work with how the children perceive the princesses. This has become everything that I am because of these kids that really believed in me when I needed to be believed in.
Well, okay, so that's the flip side, right? That's what we get. You give and you receive.
Yeah.
And when you say that, I can say this for me. Sometimes the other day I was in New Jersey and I ran into somebody who watches Sociology 119. And the moment I'm in public and I run into someone who watches Sociology 119, doesn't matter what I'm doing, I stop. And I'm like, yo, I was going into a store and I just stopped. I'm like, hey, tell me about it. I was in a hurry. But it didn't matter. Time stopped. I'm like, whatever. You watched the class? Okay, I'm going to give you any amount of time that you want, because that's just part of you give, you receive, right? So.
And I mean, it's everything that you are sometimes. I don't know about you, but how long have you been doing it? 1991? This class every semester or something crazy?
Yeah, but I've been teaching for 42 years.
Longer than I've been alive. This is if not the most important thing, it's a huge part. The princesses aren't the only thing to me, but they're a huge part. The people who portray George Washington for 27 years at living history museums, that man is their friend. They become a huge part of who you are. Even if you're not feeling like you're losing the boundary between them, it's
and it feels cool to give back.
Yeah.
Right. So when you've both experienced some sad things, right? Like with kids.
Yeah.
You touch the sadness, but you take the sadness and you.
Yeah, I've had kids that have come up to me and wanted a a favorite person back that's passed away, or that is in the military and they're overseas and not going to be home for the holidays. Those are tough. What do you say to that kid? You say, well, you know what? If they're overseas serving in the United States military, I'll see them Christmas. I'll give them a message for you. You know, give them that hope. You know, if it's a parent or some person that's passed away that they know, then you say, well, you know, you give them that hope that they'll see them again sometime. You know?
Yeah. Can you just blacken that for 1 second? Same thing for you, right? You've touched the sad.
Yeah, I have a story. Can I?
Yeah. All right.
This is sad, and I might choke up a little bit, but this was like the moment I knew that this is what I wanted to do. Even when when I had aged out of being a princess, I knew I still wanted to carry this somehow. It was 2018. I was at Janet Wise Children's Hospital. It was the very first time I ever got to go, and you have to apply to get into the hospitals, and after COVID, it's been a lot more difficult, but before, it was still quite a process, and it was so exciting to find out we were gonna go. But I hadn't really prepped myself for what I was gonna handle. I was Anna because she's my favorite, and I wanted to take her there because she's very bubbly and she's energetic and she is compassionate and she really believes that things will be okay, even when really bad stuff happens. So I was going around basically the intensive care unit for children, and this one door was closed, and the guide through the hospital took me in, and she was like, hey, this family's very, I think she said rambunctious, but she meant really enjoyable. And this woman opens the door, and she's like, you can only come in if you're gonna sing Do You Wanna Build a Snowman? We don't normally sing at hospital events, but I said, oh my gosh, anything you want. Yes, I'm ready to sing that at all times. And I noticed that her hair had been shaved, buzzed. And then I walked into the room, and as I'm sure you can imagine, especially being at a Thon school, the child did not have hair from chemo and radiation therapy. And so I sing Do You Want to Build a Snowman? It's very lighthearted, it's fun. I cut it at the second chorus because the last verse is way too sad for this situation. And then the mom looks up at me with tears in her eyes and said, will you sing Let It Go for me? And I started singing it because it's all about letting the pain of the past flow off you and looking forward to the future and being who you are. And she knew her daughter wasn't going to make it. I was told in the hallway by one of the family members because I'm that was quite an experience. She's bawling, but Kristen wasn't there right then.
Yeah.
That was Anna, because I can't, it is not, you cannot start crying in front of them. You can't do it because you're supposed to be there holding the magic for them when they can't hold it for themselves.
Yeah.
And so, I think about that a lot because
that's intense, man.
Yeah, this is a grown adult human who is bawling because I'm singing a song. Yeah. But it's so much more than that.
No, it's a mother
going through the worst thing, and
Man, can you put that slide up? So here's a question for the two of you. It's kind of an interesting question. We've touched on it a little bit, but is the sense of magic in childhood, does it depend on certain traditions, or just does it arise? Is it there? It's there. Can I answer this question? Every child has the potential, every human being, to believes in magic. Everybody does. That's part of the stage. It's make-believe. It's stuffed animals. It's whatever the case is. Everybody. It doesn't depend on anything. It just depends on somebody being there to bring the magic alive.
Yeah, some people might think they're weird. I'm one of them included. But you see the Disney adults who go to Disney and they start crying when they see a character. Obviously, I'm very connected to the characters. But you feel something when you meet them, even as an adult. And I did not have Princess character Santa, any of that growing up. Yeah. And at some point I just was like, hey, I think I want to do this. And now they've become such a big part of who I am. Yeah. So there's a 10-minute video of me interacting with an Anna performer at Disney who I knew the performer who was friends with her, but I still couldn't get it out of my head that wasn't Anna. I'm talking to her and I know this person, but, and I'm matching her mannerisms because I'm so excited and I always play on. It really, anyone can believe if they want to, and that's why Disney is so popular. Like, for everything that Disney does wrong and is problematic, there is a reason it is so popular, and people want to believe in magic, so they can just have a moment away from everything else.
Yeah, it's like the stuffed animal really is talking to you.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to, I have this doll, this puppet, and it's a sloth, and I would use it in class sometimes, and I would do ventriloquism in class, and the sloth would be talking to people, and students would talk to it.
Sloth,
It's my hand. It's my left hand. You can see it's my hand, and I'm talking, but they would still talk to the stuffed animal, because that's magical. Go ahead,
Well,
Santa.
to magic, it's in our DNA, because it goes back to when we were Neanderthals believed in magic, So it's something that's always been in cultures. Even today, you've got cultures that still have magic in their culture. Tribes in Africa, First Nations here in the United States and Canada.
Dude, Christianity. We have the belief that if you're a Christian, you have the belief that Jesus is created by God. This is big. This is magic. You believe that. So that Jesus didn't come from two human beings. Jesus came from God. So this is magic. Like every religion is built around magic. Do we believe in a God that we can't see? Like, what is that, man? Like, there's a God that created all of this, but we don't believe that God was created by another God. God just existed forever and always. And so that's magic. Well, how did God get here? Well, because it's just, God just is. Well, that means that's magic. Like this is something you can't even put together. I mean, the whole thing is based on magic. But what happens is people lose it. They lose touch with that magic, and then they start having conversations with God as though we're talking to our best friend. God wants me to do this, and God's telling me to do that, and God's this, and God's that. Well, God is magic. God is this something that has always existed beyond time and beyond space. Well, what is that? That's magic, man.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that magic can be very broadly thought of as something just like believing in something you can't see or truly...
You can't explain.
Yeah. I like to also, again, I'm getting a PhD in the social sciences. Science is also magic in some ways.
Yeah.
Like, imagine going back 100 years and telling any human, you can pick whatever scientist you want, Emil Durkheim, that I could pull out my phone and call my mom right now. She's watching the stream. Hello. Or that we could Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Or that we could do all of these things that we can't see. And science has data and empirical evidence, but it is still, there's some magic to it. Like, we're talking about that this is made up of atoms. Yeah. You can't see those with your eyes.
Everything is magic, man.
You're getting a little existential.
That's a great example with the phones. All right, another question. Is anyone else? Dej, do you have anyone else? All right, man. Matt, we're back again. How has Santa affected you? How has improved? Oh, there you go. Bro, how has it affected your... How about this? Let me just ask you a very specific question, and then you can get to this one. But, what have you learned about children? No, what have you learned about human... No, you know what? Forget about that. Just answer Matt's question.
No. Well, I mean, the best... Children are moldable. Is maybe not the right word. Moldable. They're going to listen to you. They're going to follow you. They're going to.
Wait, hang on. Those of you who want to be parents, who see yourselves as being parents, listen to Santa right here. Okay. Yeah.
I hope y'all want to be parents. But when you graduate, find a good job and find the right person. So, children are moldable. But so are adults, so are younger people. They're moldable. I hate to say it that way because then you sound cultish, like Jim Jones and those people. You know, it's. I mean, children have taught me a lot as I've continued to do this. It's I don't know. It's really tough to put it in words. I mean, they've taught me things, other things that, as a child, that I did. You know, I don't know if they taught me or if I'm remembering the things I used to do as a child. You know, it's. I guess that's the best way, is that I did a lot of things they did, and I'm seeing what I did as a child through them. Is probably the best way to describe that. So, how's it?
Do you cuss? Do you use
Do
swear
I
words?
cuss? Not when I'm in the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really have to watch yourself.
Yeah, it's like you say, it's a mindset. It's a switch you got to turn it on and off. And when I'm human, I get angry. I mean,
Yeah.
so.
No, I get that. I have a similar thing, right? Like for me, my wife is always reminding me that because wherever we go, I mean, I run into people who recognize me, especially in this town, and I just have to change my behavior constantly, and I am not, at every moment I'm walking around as though people know who I am, even they don't. Like, I have to, so I can't say certain things, I can't swear, there are a lot of things that I would just normally be. I have to, comb my hair before I leave the house, which I'm not inclined to do. But hey, do you have another? Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Can I insert something? The morning of the meeting those little gymnasts at the shrine, that's so funny. I didn't expect children to be there, but we were outside, so you have to be ready. So we weren't in character until we realized there were children coming, and then you had to snap it on really quick. It happens, You just have to know when you're on stage that they're even if you're not fully on stage, that you need to be ready to be on stage at any moment. I'm sure same with him.
So like you, I saw you walking down the hall here. You were just you, but the moment you saw me, I was looking at you. I felt like there was a kind of a switch in you. You just were like, oh, what's the best Christmas movie?
Olaf's Frozen Adventure.
Yeah, all right.
Don't play. I love it.
I'm going to say the 1939 version of A Christmas Carol.
Oh, yeah.
Because and if you've never seen it, please see it. Google it and watch it. It gives that hope. Hope that somebody can change their ways. And, you can change how you are. You have the opportunity. You have the power within you to do that. Okay?
You know what? What's interesting for me is that kind of so much of what the two of you are saying are things that I am always hoping that really kind of comes out of this class, which is that people feel empowered to see themselves differently and see the world differently. The people feel a little bit of magic. The people feel more acceptance of themselves and other people. The people have the idea that the world is a pretty cool place and it could be a better place, and that we can all participate in that. So, so that's pretty cool. Hey, is there a final question? Anybody have? Yeah? No final question? All right, man, listen. I have a final question. If there's one thing that you could say to, you kind of, in a certain sense, you already said this, but I just want to, given what you've observed in parents, there's something, a message you would have for parents, what would it be? For adults, adult parents.
Children or
Nah, just parents.
My advice to parents is love your children every day. Keep and protect them every day. They will make mistakes, and you correct them when they make their mistakes.
No,
All right? When they get,
no.
you're the parent, not them. You're to be teaching them how they're to be in this world. They reflect you. You don't reflect them.
So this is like the Santa role.
Yeah.
This is you
Yeah.
as Santa.
And,
yeah.
and something else, we say, we have this thing about our exteriors, our skin colors, our hair. What color are you underneath your skin? You're red. You're blood red. What does it matter what color you are? What does it
Yeah.
matter what hair you have? I don't care. I don't see you people like that. I see you all as just people. You know,
Yeah.
when we start getting into that aspect of things, you're wrong.
Yeah. That's
You're
cool.
just wrong. Remember that.
That's cool.
A stranger is only a friend you just met. Okay? So make a friend out of them, not an enemy. Listen to people. Listen to one another.
That's
Discuss things. Don't scream and yell at one another. Discuss them civilly. So if you take anything away from me, take that, please. Don't yell and scream at one another. Your point's not more important than the other person's. If you can yell louder than them,
Dude, that's cool.
listen
Thank
to the
you.
other person. They'll listen to you if they're smart. Hopefully they are.
Thank you, Santa. / Dave. Final comment?
Yeah.
Message to parent? 30 seconds.
In the words of Cinderella, teach your children to have courage and to be kind. There's a lot of ways that you can do that, and there's a lot of experiences in this world that will shape the way you do that for your children, but gentleness and understanding and politeness, but standing up for yourself at the same time is a very important frame of mind to have, and we need to teach our kiddos to do that.
Dude, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yo, yeah, thanks for coming. Hey, if anyone wants to take photos after we take, you can put the quiz up. If you want to take photos with Santa, you're down. Oh, by the way, I was gonna show some photos from around the world where I've experienced Christmas. That's all right. Go ahead. Just do the quiz. Yeah.
I do have to tell you all to have a magical rest of your day. It's legally required, probably.